Hey, everybody. Welcome back once again to the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast, coming to you from the Retro Wrestling Archive in Gadsden, Alabama. I'm your host, Gene Jackson, along with producer Smokey behind the scenes, making it happen. And please help me welcome my co-host. First up, it's Josh, a.k.a. Sergeant O'Briley of P3 Radio. What's up, Josh?
10 hot, Gene!
Forgot to mention we got a studio audience this week. They're pretty hyped for Sergeant O'Briley here. How you doing, man?
I'm awesome, dude. Feeling great on the Sunday morning. It's saving me from the heat right now. I could be just suffering, weed eating it up, but no, man, we're gonna talk wrestling.
That's what we do on Sunday mornings around here. Decent people go to church. We talk about old Memphis wrestling. But I don't think that'll get us sent to hell, but I guess we'll find out one of these days. But right now, speaking of going to hell, let us welcome our other co-host. He's the owner, founder, and president of STSpod.club, and he's Jonesboro, Arkansas's current favorite resident. Spoiler alert, it's Brian Trammell.
Brother Gene. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh my!
Hey, Brother Gene,
audience.
Brother Josh. It's so weird that y'all start the show talk about me going to hell. I was going through songs that I want my wife to play, at my memorial, and she said, "You sure you don't want me to play Highway to Hell?" So that was a conversation that we had last night.
By the way, you don't need to be going through songs. You need to be going through Psalms, BT.
Get Buck. And this week, we're brought to you by Crisscross Cheese Fries from Crystal. Damn, those things look good. Man, God, I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, that's the thing about those commercials being in there, man. Sometimes they'll fling a craving on you for something that either no longer exists or they just don't have anymore. So
right.
That's part of it. So this week we're going to be going back and taking a look at the March 23rd, 1991 episode of USWA Championship Wrestling. Dave Brown and Michael St. John kick off the show, running down today's card, if you will. Nightmare Danny Davis, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, Jeff Jarrett, the return of Billy Travis, Stunning Steve Austin, JC Ice Baby, Superstar Bill Dundee, and the Texas Hangmen will all be in action. 6 matches are promised, but spoiler alert, we won't get quite that many thanks to the Texas gang. But as we start the show, we see Uncle Danny and the Scorpion entering the ring, getting ready to face off against each other. When, damn it, the Texas bunch are already out here. We're starting the show out right. Here comes Embry, Dr. Tom Pritchard. They're here to gloat about beating down Jackie Fargo last week. They demand footage be shown because they just want to see the ass whooping. They don't want to show Jackie Fargo pinning Tojo Yamamoto. They just want to show when they beat the shit out of Jackie afterwards. And one thing that stands out as these guys make their way out is not only is Eric Embry holding the Texas heavyweight title, but Dr. Tom Pritchard is toting the Southern heavyweight title. And last we knew here in Memphis, that was a title that belonged to Jeff Jarrett. So I'm already out of the gate. I'm like, wait a minute. Did I miss an episode? Am I on the right one? We've talked about this at different times. I pause the show. I start looking at dates and things. And I'm like, no, this is the right one. I'm like, and they're talking about the 10 or 8-man tag from last week. So this has got to be it. But, what a way to kick the show off here. The guys are coming right in. It kind of gives us a little preview of what to expect. And Dave's getting hot. He wants to get the match in the ring going. And they say, well, if you're not going to show the footage we want to see, we'll just go in here and show you what we did to Fargo. And they proceed to go in the ring and not only attack Nightmare Danny Davis, but his opponent, the Scorpion, too, that has been teaming with some of the heels. I don't guess he's teamed with any of the quote-unquote Texas bunch, but
Superstar, the Scorpion. There you go.
There you go. And so they beat both these guys down. So the match is now a no contest. We've lost our very first match. And sadly, with all the enemies these guys have made and all the shit they just talked and all the guys that have been coming out week after week going, I can't wait to get my hands on these Texas guys. Not one damn wrestler comes out to save Uncle Danny. What the hell, man?
I know it.
Yeah, it's like
go to commercial.
They felt like, I guess the Scorpion's in there, he can help him, but he's getting his ass whooped too. I guess they didn't. That's not usual that the heels come out and just beat everybody up if they're a different set, But like we've been saying week after week, man, this Tennessee versus Texas thing is very different, man. Special set of rules and exciting. Anything can happen.
I agree. I love this stuff. Yeah, I'm big into what they did, just coming out, pushing themselves as heels. I thought it was funny that Dave says somebody ran into the camera and messed it up. So I don't know what the hell happened there.
Then whenever they play the tape, though, there's nothing wrong with it. Dave was saying like, we can't show it. The quality's not up to standard. And then you figure out he's lying.
Yeah, come on, Dave. But so we see the clip, and Jackie gets the pin on Tojo, and then they as they said, they did beat the shit out of Jackie. We're gonna hear from Jackie here in a little bit, but first, right out of the first break, they're going straight to telling the Monday night card. This time we are at the Pipkin building after a brief stop at the youth building last week. I don't know if they decided that maybe that name the building was troublesome based on somebody's wrestler's reputation or something. No, but we've moved on to the Pipkin building, and of course, as always, we'll talk about the card a little bit later in the show. But now we go to a promo from the man they were just talking about beating up. Last week we got that promo from Jackie Fargo, and he's finger gunning the camera. I mean, it was a hell of a promo. This week, we get a promo that sounds like it was sent via CB radio or some shit. I don't know what's going on. It's audio only. We've got black and white pictures going through the whole thing. It sounds like hell, but it was good enough. I thought we should listen to it. So let's check out real quickly this promo from Jackie Fargo that apparently was sent via the moon or something. I don't know. Check it out.
The Texas Outlaws. Let me tell you something, pal. Now, you think you're going to come into the great state of Tennessee and roughshod and ride and roughshod over people? Well, you got the wrong idea, baby cakes. You got the wrong idea. You're not coming into this state and rough ride nobody. I mean, you had your little glory month last week in Memphis. Big deal. But I got somebody coming, the fabulous Steve Kern. Yeah, that's right, the fabulous Steve Kern. Taught him everything he knows and a lot I never knew, pal. Jerry Lawler, I don't have to even talk about him. He's the greatest wrestler that's ever put on a pair of shoes. Steve and Jerry, I want you to kick this man's butt so high that he'll think he's at the moon, and don't let him come down. And when he does, I want you to kick it some more. See you, Emery.
So
baby cakes. That was my first thing. Baby cakes.
2 weeks in a row, he's dropped a baby cakes on him, which is unusual to say the least. But that's classic Jackie Fargo, right? There's so many words and phrases that he used over the years that was just so different than what you heard wrestlers say. So yes, my first note, just like BT's, was he called him baby cakes for the second week in a row. The other line that I enjoyed thoroughly, I taught him everything I know and a few things I didn't know. I'm like, well, how the hell did you teach him?
That's great shit.
And I want to make a note. You said the Pipkin building, and we're going to show the card a little bit. It was weird because I remembered it as the Pipkins building. I guess I got it, like everyone gets Sonics, you go to Sonics or Walmarts or whatever. But for all these years, I thought it was the Pipkins building, not the Pipkin building. So, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes in the South, people add extra letter on there. They get an S on things. Like you said, Walmarts and Sonics and Kmarts and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's to be expected. But I don't know. the audio only thing, I'm sure they recorded over the telephone, but the fact that every picture they showed was in black and white just felt odd. There's pictures of him playing golf.
And he still
hanging out with
looked
Muhammad
like
Ali.
he was at least 50 years old in each picture. That's the way it appeared.
Yeah. Like,
But
this dude was old when they was still in black and white pictures, so.
Yeah, I don't know. He was a rough rider, though, man. Yeah. I just thought, hey, you ain't gonna come into Tennessee and rough ride nobody, Jack. Baby, sweet baby, or whatever the fuck he said. Baby cakes.
Yeah, you tell some guy he's not gonna rough ride you while calling him baby cakes. Like, years later, that would have probably been a whole different promo. But the big key thing he said here that stuck out for me, and I knew he was coming. I knew he was popping back up sooner rather than later. Is that he's sending in the fabulous one, Steve Kern. And now Steve Kern was just here like a few weeks ago, pile driving Jerry Lawler on a concrete floor.
And we even mentioned it a few weeks ago in that one interview. Yeah.
He's making life miserable for the baby faces. He's at odds with Eddie Gilbert because they claim they kicked him out, although they seem to make up whenever, Eddie came back at the end of the Fabs' run. But still, we've talked about, and I know me and BT kind of talked about it at length on a Patreon thing recently. Memphis is one of the only places where a guy can come back within a month of having just been a shit heel and tag with the baby face, and nobody really thinks much of it. Okay. But I mean, we've talked about how the pile driver is such a big deal in Memphis. So them guys pile driving Lawler on the concrete's like one of the worst things you can do besides try to hit him with a car. And so now he's going to be teaming up with, he's on the same side as the guy who ran over him with a car and the guy who tried to break his neck with a pile driver. Like, Jeff Jarrett's the only person who hasn't been shitty to him yet. So it's going to be interesting to watch all this play out. And speaking of Eddie Gilbert, he's the next one to come in. He struts in. He's got his shades on and everything. And he's going to be taking on Sergeant O'Reilly. And he comes in pretty hot on old Sarge. And gets a variety of suplexes, a DDT, and he doesn't. There's a few times he could have pinned him, but he didn't. He just wanted to punish him. Like I say, I think we're really trying to drive home the fact that Eddie is not a good guy. He's still the same heel. He just don't like Texas guys, and I think that really adds something to this whole angle. Like y'all mentioned before. This is kind of one of the only times before like the NWO angle years later where it's like a couple of guys against a promotion. Like, they're not just here to take out, they hate everybody from fucking Tennessee. Fans, wrestlers, referees, you name it. If you're from Tennessee, you're on their shit list. And it's definitely an interesting way to play this. And it's different than anything we've seen here in Memphis before.
Oh yeah, I mean it's insane, and I think that thinking back, that's probably a big part of why this time period is so special to me, because it was like nothing that I had ever seen before up until that point. It's so different, and blurring the lines between good guy and bad guy. It's almost like I know they're completely different wrestlers, but like when you said that about Eddie, I would just think, kind of like Stone Cold, whenever he was a good guy, bad guy, it didn't matter. He was still the same guy, vicious. He will cheat. You expect him to cheat. And it's like this being hypnotized or something. The fans are just eating it up, like with the Jeff and Eddie tag match. It was just like mass hypnosis. Yeah, pull his hair, but just unique and special.
Well, that's the deal with wrestling in general. I guess it's one of those things where you just have to drop everything, about real life, because if he was having a feud per se with somebody like, how long did the Hatfields and McCoys feud last? And it's what we always was believed. And with the Memphis wrestling, you can always get the toughest, baddest guy that just pile drives you on the concrete and have you as a tag team partner, because you might not like him, but he's a tough hombre. So I've always loved that and always been a huge fan of it.
So it's interesting here. While Gilbert's in the ring beating on Sergeant O'Reilly, he's talking shit off and on about, like, he says that Steve Kern's washed up, like Fargo and Lawler. Like, he's talking shit about Keirn and them, and even his partners at a couple different times. The mic picks it up. And then Embry and Pritchard hit the ring, and they jump Gilbert, as is getting to be the weekly tradition here. But who comes to save Eddie? It's not Jerry Lawler. It's not Jeff Jarrett. Steve Kern runs out and clears the ring, and this gets a huge pop from the crowd who just hated him, like you say, a few weeks ago. And we get a promo from Keirn, and I've got to play this. The end line on this is just tremendous. So let's check out the return of Steve Kern like 5 weeks later as a babyface and see how he tries to spin this.
He's too happy. Steve Kern. Steve, it was good to see you there. Believe me.
Does somebody want to fight here? Eric Embry, big, tough man from Texas. I ain't scared of nobody from Texas. Texas don't mean nothing to me. Dr. Tom Pritchard, are you trying to make a reputation? In the wrestling business, you earn a reputation. You don't make a reputation off of Jackie Fargo. You know, a lot of things have happened in the last couple months, and I'm not sure whose side I'm on. But I can guarantee you one thing, when I step in the ring, whoever steps in on my side better love Jackie Fargo deep down in his heart. You know, it's a sad time when I'm sitting at home, it's 1 o'clock at night, and Jackie Fargo calls me, and he says, Pally, he says, I was in Memphis tonight, and some boys tried to make a reputation on me. Do you have the time to come and help me out? Do I have the time? I owe everything I've got to Jackie Fargo. Bar none. I've got a beautiful home in Florida, right on the beach. Where'd that come from? Fargo! Tom Pritchard, Eric Embry, this Tennessee thing doesn't mean nothing to me. I'm here to rip your arms off!
Steve Kern.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear a lot of specific threats at the end of the promo. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to take your title. I'm going to shave your head. He is going to rip their arms off, and that got a huge pop from the studio crowd. Apparently, they're here for it. What do you think of this promo?
My God, man. I was watching back, dude. I don't remember a specific Steve Kern promo, you know. So, like this one, it just seems different. It's like he's way more intense, you know. Whoever I tag team with better love Jackie Fargo deep down in their heart.
Deep down in their heart.
He has this like level of rage that is just you do not fuck with Jackie Fargo. He's like a crusader. He'll go to the ends of the earth for Jackie Fargo. I feel like, and you know, he's kind of like that guy where you've never heard of him just like going crazy at a bar or whatever, but you've also heard you don't want to fuck with him. So like, yeah, that I would hate to be Eric Embry right now.
And the big thing about this interview, we get a laugh out of it, but I believe the man. I mean, and that's the good thing. Yeah, you look at him and what he said, and we talked about last week. Bill Dundee's going to be standing over somebody in their bed, I think, and then he's
Steve
somebody.
Yeah,
and then we have somebody bringing a shotgun. I mean, a pistol, and now we got someone ripping arms off. So yeah, Memphis wrestling was kind of crazy at that moment.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, one thing that does make all this work, kind of the through line of all this, is even at the end of their run as the Fabulous Ones, Steve got crossed with Cornette and Stan Lane both because they even hinted that they would cross Jackie Fargo, and he's like, hey, motherfucker, listen here, you know, we can break Jerry Lawler's neck all day long and beat up Jeff Jarrett. You're not screwing with Jackie Fargo. Now, that whole element, the one promo he did in the middle of the show, the whole element of like the reason he has this epiphany is because some little child in the parking lot came up and told him that. We could have done without that shit. But it's still established that no matter how cool he is with Cornette, Lane, anybody else, you start fucking with Jackie Fargo, we're going to have a problem, and he's going to fight to the death for that man. And this kind of plays on that, and the fact that he's going to come rip somebody's arm off now because they beat up Jackie last week. I'm right there with the crowd. Like, all right, this is who they need. If he's not mad at Lawler and Gilbert and Jarrett, and he's not wanting to rip their arms off, they should be fine, I suppose. I think we'll get through this, So after Keirn leaves to hopefully calm down, take his blood pressure medicine or something, Jeff Jarrett comes out. Look at he's got the hair extra poofy today. He's got a fancy jacket on. He and Dave look to both be checking themselves out in the monitor off to the side there if you follow their eyes. But Jeff's here to tell us why he's not the Southern Heavyweight Champion anymore, and this is going to start becoming more and more of a thing around here. Is he lost it in Dallas to Dr. Tom Pritchard, and we get to see a clip. And I had forgotten about this time where Dr. Tom had this thing he would strap to the toe of his boot. Everybody else would load their boot by kicking the toe against the mat, and then it was loaded. Well, screw a bunch of that. Dr. Tom wanted a full-on visual, so he got a big thing that's supposed to be metal that he strapped to the bottom of his boot. He went to give his famous enziguri kick. Jeff ducked it, which was pretty smooth. It pulls the thing off his boot, goes to knock him out. He does. He gets him covered. But the referee is down in all this. And Eric Embry runs in, and Michael St. John is quick to point out, Eric Embry hits Jeff Jarrett with a Texas boot. Not just any boot.
A Texas
boot. Some Tennessee boot wouldn't have done nothing. But by God, this Texas boot has knocked Jeff out cold. Eric rolls him over on top of, rolls Pritchard on top of Jarrett, and we've got a new Southern Heavyweight Champion. I started to show that clip here, but you can go back and watch the show if you want to. This is a pretty good episode to go back and check out in full, honestly. Now, so this is going to be something weird in Memphis. There was times where every once in a while they would show a title switch from one of the other towns, but usually we didn't have to because we're doing the title switch in every town on the loop. So everybody got their own version of it. But now we have to swap some belts out in Dallas. Well, now we got to show it on TV, which can be problematic because sometimes what's going on with some people in Dallas and what was going on with them in Memphis weren't the same. There was a time like in 1990, there was a point in time where Lawler was still a huge babyface in Memphis, but he was a big heel in Texas. And I think for that very reason, they turned him heel in Memphis. And you had that heel run of Lawler through part of 1991 until the snowman angle backfired or whatever. But so that's going to be interesting to see how we integrate some of the Dallas stuff into the.
Was that Tony Falk as a referee?
Yes.
And he got hit with the lane clothesline or whatever, a punch. He stayed gone and down forever, waiting on the count to do the count. I was just like, wow, this is taking forever to go to the finish. But I love the clips for Dallas. I don't remember them doing that on TV5, but apparently they do. We got a couple of them, didn't we?
That always bothered me as a kid. Like, okay, if somebody the size of, say, Mark Curtis gets bumped by a wrestler and he stays down for a while, all right, he's a little guy. They're bigger guys. Tony Falk, who most all of us know is a wrestler, who could have took any of that from Jarrett and been right back up. But if he gets bumped as a referee, he's now dead until it's time for him to get back up.
Yep.
Well, the change in job title, you got to know your role.
Yeah. And he freshly had his head shaved here too. Apparently, there was one of those angles that just took place. I don't remember it at the moment, but when I saw his head, I was like, "Oh, I remember him getting his head shaved." I just don't remember the circumstances.
And Tom Pritchard, his loaded boot thing, it was different than the one that I remember, because the one I remember had this like fucking bungee cord that he would wrap around the back of his boot. This looked like he just stuffed it on the front and went,
No, this one had the thing. He strapped it to the back of his heel.
Okay, I guess I didn't notice it or whatever.
Because I remember the first time I saw it as a kid, I was like, is he putting a slingshot around his fucking boot? Like, what is he doing? That's weird. So then Jeff goes up and he's teaming with his old friend Billy Joe Travis. And I distinctly remember the Jeff Jarrett, Billy Travis tag team from around '87. Always, whenever I think of them as a tag team, I think of that 6-man tag where Paul Diamond turned heel on TV and cost them the loser of the fall leaves town, and Billy Travis had to leave town, and that's when the BT Express came back.
That's right. That's kind of where I stole. One of the things I stole the name from was because of Billy. And Billy and Jeff had we seen 4 or 5 matches when we were on a Philly trip. A Philly bus came down. Blue Meanie was even on that trip, and we saw about 4 or 5 matches of Travis and Jarrett against Paul Diamond and Tanaka, and they were some of the best matches I had seen live ever. Just crazy, crazy matches.
Yeah, that was a really good angle, and yeah, Diamond and Tanaka against Travis and Jarrett. I remember those, some of the ones on TV, and I saw one live in West Point, Mississippi, I think, and it was a really good match.
We had seen like 3 nights in a row, and we had breakfast with Jarrett and Travis was like, what can we do to make – we was talking about they seem to get better and better as we watched them, and I just threw it out there. I said, we need some blood. That'll make the 4th one better. And, well, he got juiced really, really bad that night. It was his whole back of his hair it just turned from blonde to just total red. But, yeah, fun stuff. Like I said, Travis was always he's just super nice to me. Not, we didn't talk a lot, but he was always, he shook my hand and said, how are you doing, blah, blah, blah. So I really liked Billy Joe.
Yeah.
Well, they're back together here. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I love that time period. I think that's what drew me to him. But the Billy Joe Travis I was just in awe of was the one from, like you're saying, Dallas, USW, or Memphis, different, was 1990 Billy Joe Travis, where he's in the honky tonk man suit, and he's challenging Buster Douglas to a boxing match, and he's breaking guitars over people's heads on ESPN. Like he was very entertaining as a heel because he was not afraid to be outlandish. Where a lot of, there's some heels, it's like, I'm too cool for that. I would never act like a fool on TV. And then you got the ones like Reggie B and, Billy Joe, where I'll do whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to get that reaction out of you, and I don't care.
He was like that backstage too. He was like, if they were putting together a match, he wasn't only trying to get his shit over, he was trying to get everybody else's shit over. So it was fun to listen to him say, what do you want to do, kind of thing, to people, and let's get that in, and blah, blah, blah. I saw him here in Jonesboro one night, and they were ribbing him bad. I can't remember. He was tagging with somebody. I can't remember who they were going against. And we talked about it a little bit on that USWA or on that FTR show, but about slapping people in the back, chops or slaps in the back. But they were slapping Travis so hard on the back. Like when they would send him into the ropes, they would just take their hand and just slap him so hard. He ended up going under the ring and stayed under the ring until the match was over. He was so pissed backstage, but he just threw a fit and then went on with life. He had big handprints on his back that night. So yeah.
Producer Smokey's a little running behind. Here's a couple of, if you're watching the video, a couple of screenshots of.
Don't hit me, Jeff!
There's that big Texas boot. Look, Embry got some air on that one. Look at that. Wasn't impressive as when you watch the video. When you see this screenshot there, he's like he's dropping in from the ceiling. So, and this is my new favorite screenshot that we're going to just keep around for random use, is just these two peeking out behind the there.
Yeah, that's creepy, man.
It is.
It's just a little creepy.
Yeah, that seems like that could be.
They're looking at one of them green girls.
Page. Yeah, we need to put that on the Facebook page and see if you can come up with the best meme from that picture right there and give them a free something. I don't know, but So speaking of wrestlers turned referees, we got the opposite in this match. We've got a guy who's wrestling who will eventually become a referee, Mickey J, teaming up with Keith Roberson. And there's a shot. This shot right here struck me. This looks like, if Paul Neighbors got like hair restoration on the top of his head, like this would be a before and after picture between Neighbors and Mickey J.
Wait, Paul Neighbors, I got to take my shirt off, right?
Oh, he was keeping his shirt on back in these days. It's even tucked in.
My bad.
You don't get to do that in 91.
Did I ever tell you guys that I was in Bert's book?
I think it came up about 10 times.
Okay, I just wondered. I had to do that today. That's for you, Scotty.
There you go. Well, so this tag team match, Billy and Jeff seem like they pick up their old chemistry pretty quick. We got some nice double team moves and quick tags, and Jarrett hits the drop kick. And speaking of dropping from the ceiling, this knee drop from Billy looks like he's dropping from the ceiling there. He got some height on the two knee pads, really. That's never a good choice to drop a knee when you don't have a knee pad for that other one. But he chose to do so. But good little tag team match here. Luckily, nobody ran in. We actually get about a 5-minute match with an actual finish. So go figure. It looked like it was going to be one of those days where we might not see a match that gets a clean winner. So tag team of Jeff Jarrett, Billy Travis back together. They're victorious. And then we get plugs for Jonesboro, Clarksdale, Ripley. Eddie Marlin comes out with news in Jonesboro tonight. And this is just the kind of odd shit you'd see on TV. Tonight in Jonesboro, Billy Joe Travis has agreed to step aside so Steve Kern can team with Lawler against Ember and Pritchard. So get ready to come on down to Jonesboro and watch Steve Kern. They might not even have arms by the time he gets them.
If not, he's going to rip them off. So just remember that.
They're going to have hook hands when they show up in Memphis.
Right. So, that's all I could think when they made that announcement. It's like, yeah, he's going to be swapping out with Keirn. I'm like, well, fuck, he's going to rip their arms off tonight in Jonesboro. They won't have arms Monday night. It's going to be a shitty match. But anyway, then the King comes out. They're talking about his 400th episode of the Jerry Lawler Show. And I knew that the Jerry Lawler Show ran for a long time, but it didn't occur to me that he had done 400 episodes and even...
It kept me from going to church over 400 times.
He's the reason BT has all these weird stories he tells us on Patreon.
I went to Sunday school, guys. I went to Sunday school, but not church. So there you go.
Like maybe you needed one strip to regular. Big church, as the kids used to call it when I was going.
What do they call it?
Big church.
Big church. You go to big church after Sunday school? Yeah.
I would be like, hey, can I not go to big church? I want to go home and watch All American Wrestling on US.
Yes.
With Mean Gene.
Absolutely.
They always had us separated, too. It's like all the kids that were this age was together and only guys, and the girls were over here with the other Sunday school teacher. It was like, man, they didn't want us together at all, the girls and the boys.
Segregation.
That's right.
No,
forget it.
So Lawler, they put over the 400th episode of the Jerry Lawler Show, which was kind of interesting because Lawler mentioned some of the other shows that you think of as being these monumental TV shows that only did like 120 episodes and stuff that didn't come close to what he did with the Lawler Show. But and then he gets into talking about, teaming with Steve Kern and how they're not going to be friends. And you can see here, this is kind of the body language there.
Lawler kept his distance like the whole time. That says so much without saying it. I love that.
The credit I will give Memphis, though, is in these situations, they would acknowledge and work around whatever the perceived heat would be. Where, like, say, WWF a lot of times, and occasionally even like with Jim Crockett, a guy would turn and now they're just all best buddies. We don't even mention that any of that shit happened before. Well, we just won't talk about the awkwardness.
Right.
But they're here. They'll usually always address it and make it part of the story. So, Keirn tells him to his face, I don't like you. I can't stand you, but you have deep love in your heart for Jackie Fargo. He didn't say that, but it was implied.
You have deep heart for Jesus Christ. I mean, Jackie Fargo.
You've accepted Jackie Fargo as your personal Lord and Savior, just like I have. And for that, I will not rip your arms off.
Hey, there was a hog report going on, guys, during that Keirn interview. Jeez, he's had those tight jeans on, and Jesus Christ, I was like, dang, man, he probably got the women for sure just because he was one of the fabulous ones, but they were not disappointing. Let me just say that. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate it.
Oh, I figure we better shout out to your fellow hog watcher, our buddy.
That's right. That's Hog Report.
Who's gonna report on the cop? One of y'all out here. That's why we can't do the show with just me and Josh. So anyway, they've addressed it once again, face to face. They don't like each other, but they're going to put it aside because they don't like Texas even more. And their mutual love and admiration and respect for Jackie Fargo is going to bring them together. And now we see, and this has got to be, I'm sure that this was like his claim to fame for years and years. Chris Frazier gets a match with studding Steve Austin. And I'm sure once Stone Cold became the biggest thing in the world, he was like, yeah, I had a match with Steve one time on TV, and, I put him over. He never forgot it. Some bullshit, eh?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Austin's got JC Ice with him.
Standing back there with a mask on and won't take it off because he's kayfabing everybody. So there you go.
Some of these matches he's had on TV, I'd wear a mask and not take it off too. But, there he's got him up in the big shoulder breaker there. And then the big studding Steve Superfly splash off the top rope is what puts him away.
I was like, what the hell? I
was impressed. That's a big old man right there. Dude.
Yeah, and he didn't hit his feet first either. He did it like a man. He landed on the knees. It looked seamless. I don't remember him doing shit like that, but
I don't either.
That was fucking impressive, like you say.
I rewound it back, and I'm like, damn, that's part of the reason he had to wear them big Forrest Gump knee braces later on. Is Stone Cold is doing shit. He's a big dude to be coming down on his freaking knees off the top rope.
And
I remember him and Pillman.
Chris Frazier.
Yeah, I remember him and Pillman. They didn't do it regularly, but every now and again they would do a spot as the Hollywood Blondes, where they'd get the guy down and they'd both go up to the same corner and dive off with a top rope splash at the same time. It's like I've maybe seen him do it like 3 squash matches or something, and even then that felt weird. But I didn't realize he was doing it all the way back here on Chris Frazier and freaking USWA at 91. But there it is. I started to clip it. I kind of wish I had now. I'm probably going to clip it and put it on the Facebook page anyway, because Jesus, those videos, man. Freaking, I put up a promo from Jackie Fargo, and within 24 hours, it had over 5,000 views. The clip of the Texas Hangmen last week, it was up to almost 10,000 now. So
that's just an active group. Guys, I appreciate everything you've done for me. I've come on here and been a part of this show all season, and man, I mean, we can see the difference in audio plays. Got a bunch. I didn't mention this last week, but we got a bunch of people coming from that group going through the archives. You got almost 1,000 episodes. Got plenty to listen to if you can find us on that on your podcast catcher there and listen, because you can listen to an episode every day for the next 3 or 4 years, and we'll have more by then. So there you go.
It'll never end. So Steve Austin's getting primed for a big coal miner's glove match with Bill Dundee this week. So next up, we see Superstar Bill Dundee taking on Deuce Mason, and Superstar struts in with his satin jacket on. He's ready, and he gets a win with a sleeper hold in about 3 minutes and 38 seconds. And then we see some footage from there's a shot of him in the ring here with Deuce Mason. And then
who was Deuce Mason? Was he just
Deuce Mason? I only remember seeing him doing jobs in Continental.
Okay.
I didn't remember him coming to Memphis, but he jobbed pretty regularly in Continental in 88 and 89. So I guess that's just kind of what he did. But here you see Austin and JC Ice with his cowboy boots on.
He looks like he got into his dad's closet and he's like,
exactly.
I'll wear the boots, Daddy.
I'll wear these boots, these tights, and this shirt. The shirt looks like it belonged to someone bigger than either one of them. But there it is. He's got the glove on. So They just so happened to have a coal miner's glove last week, and they used it, got the win. And now the obvious choice is to use said coal miner's glove to put it on a pole and have a coal miner's glove match. I remember I saw one of those live for Continental down in Columbus. It was Wendell Cooley versus Chris Colt. Or I'm sorry, he had became German. He was Chris von Colt. and seeing that live and them trying to climb the pole and all that jazz. And I had no concept of what the hell a coal miner's glove was. And then by the time they did the match on TV, they actually had Gordon Soley out there holding, this is a coal miner's glove. And he explained the
Didn't Don Carson always wear one? He used our loaded glove. I always remember Don when he's with Magolian Stomper. He had always had a glove.
Nicknamed it peanut butter, which was weird, but that's what he called it. Yeah, Don Carson's on my short list of people that I'm going to do some kind of either a podcast or do an article about, because he's an interesting dude. I remember hearing his name frequently back when I was listening to the Ron Fuller podcast pretty often.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dundee gets the win, and he's out here. And man, there's one thing you can say about Dundee. Like, he always delivers on promos. I mean, he's got the fire. He's passionate about it. You believe, just like we were talking about with Steve Kern earlier. But Steve Kern's hit or miss, because sometimes he does the promo he did today about ripping arms off, but then other times he's talking to a kid in the parking lot. But Dundee always brings it. Like when time Dundee gets done, you're like, shit, I got to go see this. Dundee's going to beat this guy to death, even if it is his son. So I don't know if you guys or anybody out there can think of an example of a bad Bill Dundee promo. Let me know. I'd like to look it up, because every one I've ever seen, he whatever the situation calls for, he's usually got just the right amount of passion behind the promo, and it builds week to week to week. So, like I said, I want to go see this freaking coal miner's glove match just because of how believable Bill was in this promo. So, next up, tag team match featuring the Texas Hangmen. And we're actually going to watch this one. We hadn't done this in a little while, so let's bring this up here. And
Big ropes with the hangman's noose in there. The Texas Hangmen.
I love the way these guys look. Jeez, I love the look big time.
So this is Bull Payne and a guy named Mike Moran. And Steve Stone messaged Bull Payne and confirmed for sure that's who the partner was. I knew one of them was Bull Payne. We talked about that, but he did confirm that that was who the partner was. And I always liked these guys. I always thought
I did too, yeah.
There goes TD.
Poor TD.
Now, we talked about how last week's match kind of felt like it droned on a long time, and they hit every finisher they could have ever thought of. But this week, Curtis is actually in the ring with his trunks up his ass, and it's bad news. He's got a wedgie in there, Dave. Do I need to go get it out for him, or?
Oh, honey, can you imagine if Bert would have been on site for this? Oh my God!
You got to
have a have to have a defibrillator. But I think they're trying to do something with him, but God, them tights are just fighting against it.
Yeah. It seems like instead of a mailman gimmick, he's doing a Chippendale gimmick. The Chippendale's gimmick is he's a mailman. But when you come out in that mailman outfit and you rip it, you have tearaway mailman outfit with trunks that are 4 sizes too small, that just screams stripper, It's awkward baby face. If he was being a heel, then okay, fine. But just imagine, if I'm a dad, my kid's like, why does the mailman's outfit strip off like that, Dad? Oh, well, it's hard to wrestle in a mailman outfit, son. Big Boss Man wrestles in a police outfit. That's true. That's certainly true. I don't know. You'd have to ask him. These are a couple of big guys here.
Oh,
I didn't remember them being as big as they are from back in the day.
And it doesn't seem like, they're not just insanely tall or whatever. They're just like fire hydrants of dudes, thick football player type.
Yeah, and they had a lot of success in Puerto Rico. They went to the AWA. Eventually, Bull Payne moves on and is replaced by another gentleman, and they would be the Texas Hangmen. Eventually, they would go to WCW to be job guys, and they would eventually drop the mask and become Disorderly Conduct on Nitro and WCW Saturday Night, getting squashed.
Yeah, I got a story about Bull Payne. It's later in the year, but I'll just tell it whenever it's relevant.
Okay. I look forward to that. There's a lot of interesting stories about Bull Payne. Man, we just saw in the previous match.
He's always been so nice to me, Bull has.
Speaking of Dundee. I don't love the fringe going down the side of the outfits, but
I don't know. It's one of those things where at least they got suits that match and they look like a team. The mask, I love the whole look and everything. I was a huge fan.
I guess it would be considered like Texas. I'm doing my two fingers Texas with the cowboy type bullshit.
No, it's forgivable. It's just
he's frustrated. Them tights are going up his ass.
I was going to mention that too. I made notes. Good God, we saw all ass. So
Curtis Thompson got a wedgie in there. It's all up in there, if you know what I mean.
Big move, y'all.
That should be their finish.
Yep.
That should be the move that ends the match. It makes sense with the Hangman gimmick, all that. That should be it. And then it's never it. Last week we did that, 5 other things, and it ended with double falling headbutts. And then we'll see here in a minute where this goes. But
from that video that they have with the music, that music's badass, by the way, for the time period. Like, they got all kind of TD, Total Destruction, Whirlwind, then they got the DDT thing. There's like a shitload of signature moves they do, and it seems like they got to do every single one of them in each match. You never know when it's going to end.
Yeah, that was our criticism last week, and that's kind of the criticism. I thought this match went a little too long with a bunch of. I like what happens at the end here, but
and apparently they, like Michael St. John, wrote down all those different names. So surely he don't just have them all memorized at this point. But it's a Texas Sidewinder, Dave. That. What was that he called the DDT last week? The Texas.
The Texas Smashola.
Smashola. Yeah, it is right there. I think that was just Michael St. John freestyling. He just pulled that out of his ass. I don't think they pulled him aside like, hey, when we do the DDT, make sure you call it the Texas Smashola, okay?
That way Jake don't get mad at us.
All right.
Whirlwind. We'll take
Whirlwind does not sound the least bit threatening there. Oh, there goes Paul Neighbors. At least they didn't knock his shirt off when they pushed him down. Second Whirlwind, Dave.
Y'all need to have. We talked about something, Josh. He's going to be Corey. You're going to be Randy, and I'm going to be just normal BT, and we're going to do a show. Commentate old Memphis wrestling.
Look at this shit. This was hilarious.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Oh, my God. Like, there was definite lack of communication or something.
I don't think he understood the power bomb at this point. Last week was a little iffy, too, but not nearly as bad as that one.
All right, so TD, whenever we get you up for the power bomb, I'm gonna need you to just really try to do a sit up, land on that lower back.
Billy Joe saving the day with no Jarrett, no Gilbert, no Keirn,
No knee pads.
no Lawler, no knee pads.
So we need somebody to go out there. I'll do it. I got you. He wished he was
Okay,
still
well,
back.
we'll just call the other part in the ring. What are you going to do? Well, you'll see. Just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's light.
You want a
Oh,
Patreon teaser? I got a Patreon teaser for this. I tried to do an angle with a bull rope like that one time, a noose, and no one would let me do it. So
There we go.
God damn it.
Oh,
God.
Oh my God. You have to go back and watch either the video of this podcast or the video of this episode. It reminds me of when Ken Patera strapped that belt around Bobby Heenan's neck and yanked it like that. It's just brutal. And this right here, this looks terrible.
Get
This-
it, get it.
Oh, no. Y'all do that to Billy. I'll do that to Curtis.
Look at Paul now. Get off of him. You go hurt him.
He looks queer. Stop doing it. You didn't think it through. Stop. It's on TV.
We're on the TV.
That was the gayest thing we ever had on Memphis television right there. It was, we're going to have to cut that.
Michael St. John, he gets all excited, and Dave's just so laid back. Well, there they go.
Yeah. Yeah, he's having a stroke, and Dave's just like, well, there we go. I feel like Embry had warned the Hangman, like, if Jeff Jarrett picks something up, get the fuck out of there, because he will hurl it at your ass. Hangman's like,
finger's
wish
still
he
hurt.
would. It's like, I wish he would. So, then now it's time to just take a look at the card for Monday night. And you know what? I don't think I clipped Dave telling the card. So I think I'm just going to have to read it out to you, which is going to break from tradition here. I hope that doesn't ruin the show for anybody. But I can't really do it, Dave. And it doesn't really seem like appropriate for Corey to read the card for Monday night. So we got Billy Travis taking on the Executioner. Nightmare Danny Davis taking on Gorgeous Gary Young, which is a name we haven't seen here in Memphis thus far. Then we've got a 10-round karate glove boxing match between JC Ice and Downtown Bruno. 10 rounds potentially, folks. Get your tickets now. Light heavyweight title match, El Grande Pistolero defending against Night Train Jackson, no relation.
And how is Night Train lightweight? That's what I want to know. Jeez, he's a big old guy.
Yeah, he is low center of gravity, as they say. About
Oh, my bad. What was I saying?
Coal Miner's Glove on a Pole match, Superstar Bill Dundee versus Stunning Steve Austin with JC Ice Baby. Then a grudge tag team match, Jeff Jarrett and Eddie Gilbert taking on the Texas Hangmen. And then in the main event, the match we've talked about throughout the show, Jerry the King Lawler and the Fabulous One, Steve Kern, fighting for Jackie Fargo's honor against Eric Embry and Dr. Tom Pritchard. So I want to stress free parking, okay? None of these stupid-ass fees. Free parking. Come on out there to the Pipkin building or the Pipkins building.
Pipkins building.
as BT would say.
After you get back from Sonics.
Yeah, you go to the Sonics, then go to the Pipkins building. And right now, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, let's see what you guys thought about this and find out the results from the Pipkins building right after this.
Hey guys, Ray Russell here. Lots of new stuff happening here at WrestleCopia. If you haven't checked out our website at WrestleCopia.com, it's a great way to keep up with the latest episodes of all of your favorite Copia programming, from the Wrestling Memory Grenade to Regional Wrestling with the Territory Talk, the Wrestling Stoop with the legendary Bob Roop, and of course all of those programs also available at your favorite podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the Copia world, all the latest news, random thoughts, fun videos, pictures, and more, make sure to join the more than 33,000 followers over at Facebook.com/Wrestling Grenade. Don't be left out. And last but definitely not least, it's what keeps the entire machine going. I'm talking about patreon.com/WrestleCopia. We appreciate your support in helping us pay the bills to keep the WrestleCopia podcast network running and enabling us to continue to bring you all the quality programming that we offer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jarrett, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Tired of the same boring wrestling podcast? Need something with attitude, chaos, and maybe just a little cussing? That's stspod.club, and we got it all covered. We got wrestling weirdness with WTF News Desk, 5-minute time limit, and the Southern Fried Brain of me, BT, during the whole ship. We also have rolling into Memphis every week about the current Memphis wrestling. Interviews, hot takes, and wrestling outrageousness so wild it might get you banned in 12 states. That's right, it's SDSpod.club, or search all podcast catchers for Shooting the Shiznit, where wrestling podcasts grow chest hair. Not sure what that meant. Love my mama.
All right, we are back, and guys, it's that time for you to tell us, first of all, what was your least favorite part of today's show?
Well, I'd have to say, I mean, yeah, it would have to be just, I guess, like the illusion of the Uncle Danny match at the beginning. I mean, I know it happened that way because, you know, it was supposed to look organic, and they were fixing to wrestle, and then Embry and Pritchard just ruined it. You know, it's supposed to look like that, but still, you know, I know it's a small part, but yeah, that was just kind of like, well, we didn't get the match. I was excited for Uncle Danny to beat the shit out of the Scorpion. Didn't get to see it.
I gotta say, the match we just watched, Texas Hangmen, because they're just they're just doing too much. They should. I would put them in kind of like the Road Warriors in the sense that they would just come in, boom, 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 and it's over. You know, do their finisher, get their finisher over. Not, what do we say? Get your shit in, not get everything that you do in on one match. And they've done that 2 weeks in a row, and that's the only thing that I mean, I'm being picky too, so it's the only thing I would pick apart there.
And the thing is, they did that whirlwind thing, which to me was the least impressive of their double team moves, because the way it's executed, the whole point of the move is just the sidewalk slam, because as he rotates his arm and lays it across their chest, it's obviously not doing anything to them. So that it's the least impressive one, but it's the one they did twice and ended up finishing the match with, which I thought was kind of silly. And I'll echo what Josh said, because this is like the third week in a row Uncle Danny has drew a star on his face for pretty much no reason.
Did he have tape?
I didn't notice. I didn't notice. Never get a long shot on him. But I have to think he's getting annoyed by this, and I have to think he probably asked Eric Embry, like, "Are you playing with me? Are you playing with me right now?"
Don't play.
So, Eric, let the man have an actual match next week with a finish, please. Or it's probably not going to go well for you if you don't.
Danny at this time's working like every Mid-South Coliseum. He's in. Oh, yeah. He's going to Texas and working. I mean, he's there. So
yeah, he's all over it. And if you go watch, there's a lot of those Dallas USWA shows all over YouTube, and you can go and watch them. And yeah, Danny Davis is all over those. There's actually a match with him and Dundee against the Texas Hangmen. There's a regular tag match, and then they come back on like a double bull rope match or something. And I may have tried to stick that up on the Facebook page at some point. But anyway, what was your most favorite part of today's show?
I enjoyed that whenever Steve Kern and Lawler, they got out there and they were going to talk about the match and stuff. They actually took most of the time of the interview to explain, look, we know what happened less than 2 months ago. And they really went into detail of this happened, that happened. You tried to end my career and this, and this. But we both are down for Jackie Fargo. And they really did a good job of acknowledging, they said without saying, we know you fans aren't stupid, but this is the reasoning. And like you said before, usually WWE and WCW, a lot of times they would just throw it on you and this is what you're going to deal with. I like that they were thoughtful enough just to really explain what was going on.
I agree. That was my favorite part, was the Lawler Kern thing. Like I said, I've always been a fan of my toughest opponent's going to be my tag team, but I love the stuff about Jackie Fargo, and and it goes back. As soon as I saw they were bringing in Keirn, I was like, wait, he's tagging blah blah blah. They were just here, kind of thing, like Gene said. But I like the way was it Lawler that said that Jim Cornette and Stan Lane had messed Keirn's mind up. They had messed his mind up. And then we had that Keirn interview earlier this year where he did talk about, Lane and Cornette, y'all do not touch Jackie Fargo. So, we already established that the God, also known as the God, Jackie Fargo, and he has one of them little statues like the Buddha statue of Jackie. But yeah. Favorite part,
on
love
the
that kind of stuff. Love
Buddy
it.
Fargo.
Yeah. I got a statue of Blackie Fargo over here too. So,
AKA Derek King, for anybody sends any hate mail. I liked all that as well, but I do have to say, even though for all the reasons BT mentioned, I didn't enjoy how long the Texas Hangman match went on. I did like the angle at the end because it put them over as like brutal, legit killers. When they're out there trying to
I agree. Yeah,
rip Billy's head off on TV. I don't know why it really had to be Billy though. Like, you could have just quickly jobbed out TD Steele and then let them do that to Curtis Thompson and had the same effect, because Billy gets yanked around the neck, but yet he's not wrestling. It's Jeff Jarrett and Gilbert wrestling on Monday night. And
there was some weird stuff there. What was it? Somebody got beat up. Jeff did. Did we see Jeff didn't save Eddie, but Jeff and Eddie are tagging? Was it Billy Travis that saved
Eddie? But Jeff
saved Eddie. Yeah. That's right.
And then, that's as far as what
and
a lot of this stuff doesn't exactly line up. But
they could have lined up this thing. So, like, you were saying how Billy Travis, they announced, well, he's going to step aside and let Steve Kern come to Jonesboro tonight. Well, they could have done that angle first and played it to where, Billy Joe can't be at Jonesboro tonight. So Steve Kern is going to come out here and, let Steve make the save or some shit during that situation. That would have made way more sense. But,
absolutely. I mean, on the fly right there, you just made a much wiser decision on the booking there, because now it's like you'd almost had to been like, all right, well, he's going to step aside tonight in Jonesboro. Then he's going to step aside again Monday night and let Eddie Gilbert take his place. So it's like, all right, well, we'll just call him old Billy Step Aside Travis, where he
there you go,
the run of things, but he doesn't get to have the revenge match.
Oh, second string Billy.
So, are we buying a ticket for this event Monday night?
Yes, absolutely.
I am too. I'm with Josh. The top 3 matches, look fun. Excited about it. Excited about seeing what they do. I would be there.
I want to see if somebody gets their arms ripped off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they don't, then we're going to have a problem with Steve Kern. Like, hey, man, you didn't do what you said you were going to do.
And wouldn't it be great, like, after the match, if he went, like, to the crowd up in the front row and he starts, do you have Jackie Fargo in your heart? depending on your answer is how he reacts. He goes
Oh
each
my
one
God! Do you have we need a shirt with that on it, guys?
Have
I
you
buy that.
accepted Jackie Fargo?
Have you accepted
Jackie Fargo on a cross.
Oh no!
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Oh, went a little too
y'all
far.
Y'all
there.
went just far enough, and I crossed the line. My bad. I mean, let's be honest. You're really there for 10 rounds of karate glove boxing between Uptown Bruno and JC.
That's right, JC.
That's what's selling the tickets there, brother.
And see, the hate that Eric Embry has for Bruno is going to push this thing to 10 rounds. You know that.
Oh, that's hilarious. What if it did? What if he did? Yeah, you got to go 10 rounds.
Go to 10-round draw. We'll come back with 12 rounds next week. And then he turned around and looked at Pritchard like, he still ain't quit. What I got to do? All right. So Monday night, March 25th, 1991, at the Pipkin Building in Memphis. And we do not have a attendance, unfortunately.
Hey, can we say that we didn't? I'm sorry to cut you off, Gene, but during those playbacks where they showed footage from the Pipkin Building, you could see from where the front row was, and it was kind of like almost like a theater or some shit. The way the seating kind of went up a little bit. It looked like to be close to full.
It did. It looked like and Meltzer made a note about that in the Observer that week. And I guess I had passed it along. That it looked like there was a lot of people in the building. And funny thing is, he misspelled. Did you see that? He misspelled the building as Pitkin. So I probably thought it was Pickin at first, and then Pipkins. But yeah, he said, I don't know, Gene, was he going to tell this 850 people about at the first two shows?
Yeah.
Pipkin building.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing is like 850 people in a 2,500 capacity building like the Pipkin building looks better than 2,500 in the Mid-South Coliseum. It's kind of that same theory of like how AEW looks better on TV now doing these smaller venues than when they were going to these huge arenas and, you had half the building black, especially as bright as they light everything. So, I don't think it's the end of the world right now that we're not at the Mid-South Coliseum. But opening match sees Billy Travis defeat Eli the Eliminator.
Yes.
Second match sees Nightmare Danny Davis and Gorgeous Gary Young wrestle to a time limit draw.
Poor Danny. Poor Uncle Danny.
Here's the shocking one. Third match. Uptown Bruno defeated JC Ice in the 10-round karate glove match. We don't know what round that happened in, but he did win. But then again, it's also probably more punishment because it's just an excuse to keep these matches going. Third match, the light heavyweight champion of the world, El Grande Pistolero, or El Grande Pistolera, defeated Night Train Jackson to the surprise of absolutely no one. In the coal miners glove match, superstar Bill Dundee beat stunning Steve Austin. So Bill Dundee can forever say that at one point he beat Steve Austin.
There you
coal
go.
Miners glove match. What? Tag team match: Texas Hangmen, Psycho and Killer defeated Jeff Jarrett and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. And in the main event, flamboyant Eric Embry and Dr. Tom Pritchard fought to a no contest with Jerry the King Lawler and the fabulous Steve Kern.
They said it brought all over the building, and also in that tag team match, Gilbert was the one pinned.
Yeah.
Gilbert. So it'd be interesting to see what goes on there. So Gilbert's lost a lot of falls lately. Scared the shit out of me.
He's going to make an unscheduled.
Excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom.
Now he doesn't have to go immediately after the show. He's already
dude wipe.
Jeez. Well, all right, there we go. There's another episode in the books. We'll see where this is all headed next week. But right now, I guess it's time to talk to everybody about what you have going on this week at stspod.club, BT.
Let me see. We had the episode with Hit Me With Your Best Shot with Scotty Wentz talk about Motley Crue. That was his first album. I did episode 989 which was rolling into Memphis 241. And this week we have 5-minute time limit. It's the 1-year anniversary. You guys are supposed to be making an appearance on that. And we have the WTF News Desk with Gene and I. You want me to go ahead and tell about what happened on episode 426 of P3 Radio? I'm sorry, Josh, but I gave y'all 3 out of 5 hoots this week, and it was because we spent 20 minutes talking about Sean Paul versus Shaggy in reggae music. It was I was wondering, as I was going, what the fuck are these guys doing? But then all of a sudden, Gene, I want you to know, I found out what they're doing. They're starting a new music podcast coming to P3 Radio Network. It's called Jamming in the Rink, Songs from the Skating Rink. So there we go. I can't wait for the first episode of that.
Can we just say, though, that my Jamaican was more violent than his Jamaican?
I believe so.
That is written on paper. He's been arrested. The other guy, squeaky clean guy, he could babysit your kids.
I feel like this Jamming in the Rink show is going to get pulled from YouTube immediately for copyright purposes.
Oh, 100%.
Josh talked about tar tools. Jim, I don't know if you know this, Gene, but Jim Duggan is a tough guy. And Richard disputed Duggan's weight. And I wrote down how big of a boy was he. There we go. That's a shout out if y'all remember that. So I put down, I guess Richard is a weight expert now. I just wanted everybody to know that. Richard did not understand that Americans in Mexico are heels and not baby faces in wrestling. They talk some lucha libre. And let me tell you this, Richard is not an expert in lucha libre. Richard was really country as a kid, only as a kid. They also had a club in a shed.
No,
and I think it's the first time
camper shell that went on top of your bed for your truck. It was set off in the grass, and it had linoleum on the bottom of it and shit.
Well, it's the first time they ever seen each other naked or something like that, and they played naked playing cards too. They came back from commercial with Limp Bizkit. The Limp Bizkit's back, motherfuckers. If you play a drinking game with P3 Radio, do Richard saying to be honest. If you could get drunk as shit every time. They talked about Kramer and talked about him being a racist, which just absolutely
allegedly
surprised me. They have a new country song, which it can't be on that podcast, but it's called Balls the Size of Texas. That had me rolling.
It's about really Michael Richards.
It is because Michael was doing a David Dukes impression.
No, he's going on tour. He
went on tour and
in California of all places.
Went to different places. I wonder if he got any. I wonder if he got any heat for that. And by the way, I should have saved this for Patreon, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it, guys. You two guys were wrong, Josh, and you can tell Richard. Women do like to watch men jerk off. I got a Patreon story for that, but I wanted to tease it right there. So there you go.
Louis C.K. would disagree with you, BT, but anyway,
you got to get a permission ahead of time. There you go.
Well, where's the fun in that? All right. Well, there you have it. That's the recap of P3 Radio this week. Also, you can check out USWApodcast.com for everything related to this podcast, the merch store, the social media, all that jazz right there at USWApodcast.com. Check out DougGilbertPodcast.com for everything related to Dangerous Conversations with Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich, which is currently on our hiatus between seasons. It'll be back here in a few weeks. Don't worry. And also, go to the YouTube. We have now crossed the threshold of having 4,000 videos at youtube.com/@retro wrestling archive. I think I've now got all the P3 radios that are allowable back to being public and not, for some reason, YouTube turned almost all of them private. I had to each individually go in to all 400 and however many episodes, turn them public again. Some of them I had to delete because I guess it was a song got played that they can't, for whatever reason, since y'all's comes in through your feed, I can't just edit the song out. I either have to delete the episode or it just sits there dormant because nobody can listen to it. So I had to cut a few out because apparently I'll play a lot of copyrighted on that show.
Yes.
Anyway, check out. We've got 11,000, I think, or 10,200. Yeah, 10,200 and something subscribers over there at the Retro Wrestling Archive. So 4,000 videos. My God, there's something for everybody. If you can't find some kind of old wrestling on that YouTube channel, there's no helping you. I don't know what to say. Also, you can catch our patreon.com/retro wrestling archive. We put the Hot Mike's post show on there. We've got some watch along stuff on there. Now I'm starting to put some different articles about old wrestlers and everything. I've got one that I just put up about the famous, or not famous, the legendary manager Bobby Davis, but most folks don't know who Bobby Davis is and don't realize that he was the predecessor to all of your favorite wrestling managers. Go check it out. I'm proud of that one. I hope people go and give it a look. And you can also check out some of my other podcasts, Retro Wrestling with Gene Jackson. We've got the UWF Fury cast where I go back and watch and talk about old episodes of Herb Abrams' god-awful Fury Hour. We got the Memphis and Minutes show and all that good stuff. So check some of that out if you got the time. And always remember to check out my friends at EPWWrestlingMS.com. Once again, if you check out this week's episode, me and Jax are doing the commentary through the whole show. If you haven't seen it yet, they've got one of the best wrestling promotions, I think, in the Southeast, and they are now covered through TV throughout the entire Southeast. 22 million homes that EPW goes into every week. We're not talking about internet streaming. We're talking about actual real television. So check it out. It's on somewhere near you. Guys, anything else before we take it home?
That's it, brother. Thanks for everybody for listening to us. We appreciate it. Love my mama.